It's always surprising how quickly a year can go by. The beginning of last year, 2024, I was really convinced my game would be sitting proudly on the shelves somewhere by the end of the year. Well, here we are in 2025, Happy New Year by the way, and I'm still in development. I'd really love to have my game published and released by the end of this year though, by Christmas. I think it can make a great present, and a lot of people are more willing to try out new games to play with friends and family during that season. So knowing how fast a year can go by, this is what needs to get done ASAP to make that a reality. If you're new here, my name is Julian, and on this channel I document my journey in creating the ultimate strategy board game, Pincer, A Gentleman's War. In this game you'll expand your empire by building colonies, managing resources, and most importantly, facing your opponents on the battlefield. Head over to my website, playtests.com, and learn how you can become a playtester today. First, let me tell you a story. I love to sail. And a few years ago, I found a really cheap, worn-out sailboat through Facebook Marketplace, and after a lot of sweat and some blood, I finally had my dream of a seaworthy vessel on my hands. At least I thought so. I should have known better, but I'd made a terrible, foolish mistake. I skimped out on the mounting gear for the rudder. The day came to take it out on the water for the first time, and I was beyond ecstatic. The sail's belly filled up with wind for the first time, and for a split second I experienced that amazing feeling of being taken by the wind. But to my horror, I felt a snap, and as I looked down I noticed the rudder was no longer attached to the boat, and it was only being held on by my hand. It's a funny story now, but at the time it was quite nerve-wracking, experiencing the full force of Mother Nature and being powerless against it. After a few long, stressful hours, we managed to get my boat back to the dock, and after that I reinforced the bloody daylights out of it before taking it out again. Needless to say, I learned a valuable lesson through this, and it even sort of haunts me when it comes to my board game. I have this terrible fear of not reinforcing all the rules and mechanics and having to watch it sink when I release it. I have a fear of being overconfident. This is my biggest struggle right now, even when it comes to playtesting. I want this game that I've worked on for so long to just work, be fun, and give players a satisfying experience. I know I have to stress test it to see where the weakness and faulty mechanics are, but I find it hard to face in a way. I know at some point I need to solidify my rules, but I know I can't make everyone happy, and I have this fear of making the wrong choice. I think this is something that's causing me to perhaps procrastinate by continuing to tinker with mechanics, the rules, and never actually commit to finalizing them. I truly want to make a game that players enjoy, want to come back to time and time again, but I'm not sure it's there yet. So for the first part of the year, I plan on facing this head on and doing extensive playtesting and being honest about what changes need to take place in order to make it a full and complete game. Now this is more of a practical concern for completing my game, but I really need game art and pieces that are ready for publishing. The biggest obstacle right now are the infantry and cavalry pieces. These are the only 3D pieces of the game that I didn't design myself, besides the fort. If you followed my channel, you know that Paragon Metal Design took it upon himself to design an awesome piece for me, and it looks amazing. However, the current infantry and cavalry designs I purchased online, and I don't actually have the rights to publish them in my game, so I need custom ones made. I've tried several times to design them myself, but I'm just not talented enough to design the more organic 3D designs versus the geometric designs of the colony, port, and even the frigate. Last year I actually hired a 3D designer to create the infantry and cavalry pieces, and he did a great job. It's even the one I use in my channel intro. But while I love the design, the problem is they're just not optimized for 3D printing. Too many overhanging edges, thin parts, geometry that would be too brittle. I sort of regrouped after this and really thought what I would like them to look like and how they could be optimized in a style that fits my game. Once more, I hired a new 3D designer to model my pieces, and he did a decent job, but it really didn't turn out the way I envisioned it, and not what I would like for a final published version. It's really close though. What I realized through this is I need a real 3D artist to design these pieces. Not just a 3D modeler who does exactly what I tell them, but someone who has a vision of their own, who understands my game and creates pieces in a style that really adds a sense of depth, taking the sum of classical themes from Victorian-styled games as inspiration for new elegant pieces. That's where I'm at now. I've been inquiring from different people online whose portfolio I like, but I just haven't really found a good fit yet. This is something I desperately need to get done though, before my game can be published. There's a lot of miscellaneous concerns as well that need to be addressed, such as settling on a manufacturer. I will be self-publishing, at least at first, and I plan on investing in around 100 to 200 games to get it started, and hopefully, if all goes well, I'll reinvest the earnings into purchasing more copies. I've reached out to several manufacturers, but once again, I can't really compare prices until I have a final game complete. I won't know exactly how many pieces I need, things like the size of the box, and so I'm kind of at a standstill there. Another concern I have is creating an airtight rulebook. Obviously, this is crucially important, and I need one that communicates the rules as clear and concise as possible to new players. If someone's never played before, I want them to be able to learn everything and understand quickly from a clean, uncluttered rulebook. I'm sure there's going to be many more hurdles and obstacles coming down the pike, but these are some of the ones that need to be taken care of as quickly as possible in order for me to take the next steps. Well, I know it's been slow on my channel for a while, and it's been killing me. I've missed you all a lot, and it's good to see you again. If you didn't know, I was pretty sick for a while last year with pneumonia, and then we had the holidays, and then on top of that, my wife and I actually moved recently, so I actually had to tear down this whole set and remake it in our new home over the past few weeks. So it's been pretty busy, but things are finally slowing down as we settle in. And I feel like I had so much momentum last year that just came to a grinding halt. So please ask you to just bear with me as I get going again. So it's so great seeing you all again, and I thank you all so much for the support and coming along this journey with me. I'll see you soon. Farewell.